But a week ago, I ran a race because every year my wife and I, we try to run a race together. It's something we do as husband and wife. And in Texas, we'd always run a half marathon. I do the half marathon, and the same day most places had a 5K. So she would run the 5K, I'd run the half marathon, but the Dam to Des Moines half marathon doesn't have a 5K option. So we signed up for a separate race. So we decided to sign up for the Blue Believers 5K, which was on September 23rd, right there at Principal Park. We signed up together. And then my wife said, oh no, I've got a dilemma. I said, what's the dilemma? She found out a few weeks ago that her college roommate was celebrating her 50th birthday party in Dallas the same weekend. So she said, Icky, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I'm going to go celebrate in Dallas with my old college roommate. And I said, great, you can do that. So our running affinity group from this summer, our group meet, I said, hey, does anyone want to run a 5K? And so then Juliana Biedenfield, who's supposed to run the Twin Cities Marathon today, who didn't, sadly, she said, oh, I'll take it, I'll run it. So Jules said, I'll run it. So I pick up the packet, the registration, the number, and on the back of the number, it says Terra Soma. So I drop it off with her. The next morning, we show up, and so she's training for a marathon. So 5K is like warm-up for her, right? So we get to the starting line. I see Juliana. She's got her number and everything. And she said, I've already run 7 miles this morning. I'm like, okay, whatever, right? I'm like, I parked at Mercy College and my wife's work. I ran a mile here to warm up, right? So she's already run. So we run the race. The gun goes off. We're running, and we're running right along the river, really scenic route, really nice day. I cross the finish line. Right across the finish line on the right side is a giant video screen, which has all the people who are finishing the race and where they're placing, and they have it based on age group as well. So I look, and it says males 50 to 59, and my name pops up. I finished in 5th place, all right? 5th place. So I didn't make the medal podium, 1st through 3rd. I didn't place. But then I look at the women, female 50 to 59, and no one has finished yet. No one's finished yet. So I'm waiting for Juliana to come, and I'm like running along just to cheer her on and stuff. And then suddenly, like, I see her, she comes across, she finishes. I go to the video board, and it says this, Terra Soma, 3rd place. So here's the thing. I'm like, I run the race as hard as I can, and the best I can do is 5th place. My wife is partying in Dallas with her roommate. She found a substitute to run in her place. And then Juliana said, Icky, guess what happened? She said, I PR'd, and a PR is a personal record. So in the world of racing, she ran the perfect race, and she got to the medal podium, the victor's podium, right? So I took a picture of that, and I sent it to my wife and my kids, and I said, look at this. Dad runs the race, right? And just mind you, I ran the race backwards and on one leg. And I got 5th place. I said, Mama don't even run the race, and she gets 3rd. So here's the thing. The race finishing 3rd was credited to Tara, even though she didn't do any of the work. It was Jules, who suffered, who experienced discomfort and pain, and yet the work was credited to Terra Soma. Terra Soma was on the victor's podium, not because of anything she did, but because of something someone in her place did for her. So here's the thing. How arrogant would it be of my wife if the next day we're sitting there, right? And we left right after the race, so I don't know if they had a medal podium, but if they did, I'm sure they would mail my wife the bronze medal. Imagine if a week later, how arrogant it would be for my wife to sit there and have the bronze medal around her neck and say to me, hey, Icky, how did you do in that race again? And I said, 5th place. And she's like, look at this, right? Look at this, right? How arrogant it would be because she didn't do the work, right? It was someone who experienced the pain and discomfort and the agony and the excruciating pain that suffered on her behalf, and now it's credited to her. She has no right at all. All she can do is take off that medal and then give it to Juliana and says, you're worthy of it all. This really is yours because you're the one that did the work, even though it's credited to me. And friends, that's why one of the greatest verses in the Bible, 2 Corinthians 5:21, God made him who knew no sin to become sin on our behalf. And this is what happened. Christ's righteousness was credited to us. was our substitute. So how dare we say, hey, God, it's all about me and my kingdom and my life and my money and my time and my salvation. Well, all we can say is you're worthy of it all. You're worthy of it all. I take this crown and cast it before you because you're worthy of it all. So friends, the simple plea from Daniel is this. King Nebuchadnezzar, first person, says, you better recognize that God is worthy of it all. The Lord Jesus Christ is worthy of it all. Let's